Hello friends, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Why don't you go down, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any episodes. For my friends and subscribers, I really do appreciate you. Today's topic is Jim Jones relocating to California. Not much else I need to say. Let's get on with the video. Jones sent people to scout out California. The Beams moved to an Oakland suburb, while Case settled in Ukiah, the Mendocino County seat, roughly halfway between Eureka and San Francisco. While waiting for the reports, he applied to be certified as an ordained minister for the Disciples of Christ denomination. Despite Jones's unorthodox approach to the ministry, the disciples wanted him because his church represented what the disciples wanted all of their congregations to strive for. Even though there was a quote-unquote investigation committee, Jones's ordination was merely a formality because the disciples of Christ really wanted People's Temple within their denomination. In a People's Temple service on February 16th, 1964 at 8 p.m., Jim Jones was officially ordained as a minister of the Disciples of Christ. For a few weeks at least, Jones technically followed the denomination's guidelines. For instance, most churches require communion at least once in a while. Jones offered coffee and donuts rather than wine and wafers, telling congregants that gathering together was the real communion. After ordination, Jones started visiting California, sometimes bringing confidants and his family at least once. Even though everyone loved San Francisco, Jones could not get over his fear that it would face nuclear attack. He liked Ukiah, since it was some distance from the coast. Joe Phillips, a temple member who had spent some time as a farmer, pointed out the crops would grow well in the area, and if the church could buy some land, they would be self-sufficient. Jones especially liked this idea. Jack Beam overheard a conversation between a group of people in a Ukiah restaurant who represented a social gospel group in Ukiah named Christ's Church of the Golden Rule, an essentially self-supporting group. Jones liked the fact that this was a self-supporting group. Jones and the two temple members, Beam and Case, started a conversation with them, and the elders invited them to see the community for themselves. Jim said he would be their humblest member, but to his inner circle, he revealed his plans to become the sole leader of a consolidated group. I am skipping a little bit, but basically all it is that Jones and this group came to an agreement that People's Temple would worship as a separate group on the property, and then after a time they would negotiate for immersion. This led to a rift between Ross Case and Jim Jones. Case was deeply troubled that his colleagues would just blindly follow Jones and adopt his view that he was godlike. In March 1965, Case wrote to Jones that he could no longer, in good conscience, be a follower, although he would support People Temple's projects. Case thought that since he and Jim were long-standing friends, the break would be clean, but oh, how wrong he was. Jim did not forgive a slap in the face, which he interpreted this to be, and he had other plans for Case. Jones had to get back to his flock and start persuading them to move. Several didn't need to be cajoled because they believed fully in their leader. Others, however, needed to be nudged, and this is where Jim's amazing memory came in handy. They probably needed nudged because they hadn't been very far in their lives. Even at the height of Temple membership, he remembered everything that was shared with him, both good and bad. At this point in 1964, the remaining followers were those he knew the best, and he exploited this knowledge to his advantage. A lot of things that he had done had been done for the benefit of his flock. At first, of course, these were presented as Christian acts with no strings attached, but Jim remembered all of them and used them for manipulation purposes. Did you join the church just for what it could do for you? How selfish, he would chide. Moving might seem like a sacrifice at first, he said, but life in California would be better. They would inspire the world. However, it was time to give back to People's Temple right now by moving to California. When this type of manipulation would not work, Jones used enticements. For example, many elderly had arthritis, and the harsh Indiana winters were rough for them. On the other hand, California winters were warmer. Would it not be nice to go through the year with no pain? He would ask. Even though he had to tweak his persuasions for certain individuals, his underlying message remained the same. Nuclear war was coming, and Indianapolis would be annihilated. Anyone who remained in the city would die. So why don't you come with us to California? Jones claimed to have had a vision that on July 16, 1967, Russia, then the Soviet Union, would launch a nuclear attack against the USA. About 90 of the remaining Temple members decided to go. In the summer of 1965, Jones preached a final sermon in Indianapolis. When the service was over, a car caravan was waiting to escort them to their new home. They had fun on the way. They would drop by grocery stores in small towns and pick up lunch meat and loaves of bread and have picnics in grassy knolls. They were in high spirits. Their leader's enthusiasm was contagious. They did enjoy the picnics, and they did enjoy each other's company on the way to California. But the good mood dissipated in Ukiah. Apparently, Ukiah did not want them. Oh no! What are they going to do? They traveled all this way, gave up everything to move to California, and they're now in Ukiah, and Ukiah doesn't want them. What are they going to do now? Well, Jim Jones has some fancy footwork to do, doesn't he? Stay tuned for next time, and you will find out what he does. Well, friends, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, press the subscribe button, and if you want to know when I come out with new content, hit the bell next to the subscribe button. My Twitter, Discord, email, PayPal, and website links are in the description, along with the source that I used for this episode. If you wish to get in contact with me, Twitter is the best way, followed by email. Please leave comments in the comment section. Not only do I love hearing from you, but it also triggers YouTube algorithm. Also keep in mind that I choose the comment of the week for my Saturday live streams from the edited videos. Keep learning and searching for truth. Here are a few videos from my library. If you have not watched them, go ahead and watch them and tell me what you think. Until next time, friends, stay safe and goodbye.